Welcome to how to solve equations numerically using SolveN with the fx-CG100. In this video, we will demonstrate how to solve different types of equations in Calculate that extend the functionality of simultaneous, polynomial, and solver in equation. Multiple solutions can be found in a single calculation and displayed in various exact forms. To start, we will look at solving this simple linear equation equated to 0. Press Home and select Calculate by scrolling or using the shortcut. To find SolveN, press Catalog. This displays a menu of grouped operations. Select Function Analysis by scrolling or using the shortcut 2. Derivative and integration templates are displayed, together with Solve Equation or SolveN. Scroll or use the shortcut to select it. The SolveN input screen is displayed, ready to input the equation. Enter the equation using x theta t y for the default variable x. It should be noted that any alpha variable can be used. However, the handset solves for x by default, so additional syntax is needed, which will be shown later. Omitting the right-hand side of the equation when equal to 0 allows for simpler entry. Calculate by pressing Execute or OK. A warning message is displayed that states that more solutions may exist. This is important as SolveN is a numerical method, and sometimes numerical methods can fail, especially with discontinuous functions. Therefore, it is recommended to also check graphically if all solutions have been found. Close the warning with OK to display the single solution. This is displayed in a list, in exact form, in this case as a fraction. Press Format if a decimal is required. SolveN can also solve equations where the right-hand side is not equal to 0. Instead of opening another SolveN input, it is easy to edit the existing calculation. Scroll to the end of the existing input inside the parentheses. Press the teal-colored Shift key, as the equal sign is a secondary key label. Press the open parentheses key to enter equals and complete the equation. Then calculate. And close the warning as before. The expected single value is again displayed exactly. Equations can also be solved where expressions are equated. This example of two linear functions could be approached simultaneously in equation, but would require some rearrangement. SolveN allows the question to be entered as written. As before, we will edit the existing calculation. Scroll to the end of the input and delete the unwanted value. Then enter the right-hand side expression. Calculate and close the warning. The exact value is displayed as an improper fraction by default and can be interpreted graphically as the x value of the intersection of two lines. Higher order equations can also be solved using SolveN. Here we have the example of a quadratic function equated to a value. Edit the calculation as before by scrolling and deleting the unwanted entry. Then complete the equation. Calculate and close the warning. This time, two solution values are displayed in the list, as expected. As there is no x term, the values are displayed exactly as surds. Extending the types of equations that can be solved using SolveN, this example equates a linear and quadratic function, which could be useful in solving inequalities without rearranging in the Inequality app. Edit the previous calculation as before, and complete the equation. Calculate, and close the warning. Two values are displayed. However, be aware that a single value may not be an error and could indicate a tangent. If these functions do not intersect graphically, then no solution will be shown. In addition to polynomials, SolveN is also capable of dealing with many other types of equation. Here we have the example of a logarithmic equation. Scroll to edit the existing calculation and delete the entry. And complete the new equation using the logarithm key. Calculate as before, and close the warning. This even function has two values equal to 3, expressed exactly as surds. One of the more useful features of SolveN is its ability to deal with multiple solutions. This is demonstrated nicely when dealing with many-to-one functions, such as this sine function. As before, scroll and delete the existing entry. When completing the equation, notice that the trig function automatically enters parentheses. After entering the variable, scroll outside, enter the right-hand side value, and calculate. Then close the warning. 10 decimal solutions are calculated, roughly symmetrical about the y-axis. Scroll to highlight the solution set, and scroll right as indicated by the yellow arrow to see more values. Alternatively, when highlighted, press OK to display a list of truncated decimal values. Investigate each value by scrolling to display the full decimal. Press back to return to the solution set. If a domain is indicated in a question, it is easy to limit the number of solutions calculated. Scroll to the end of the SolveN input. End the equation with a comma, and input the variable and bounds as shown. Then calculate, and close the warning. This time, the only values calculated lie within the inclusive bounds. To view the list of values, scroll to highlight, and press OK. More complicated trigonometric equations can also be solved. In this example, as we will be using the same bounds, scroll to the end of the existing equation. Then delete it. Complete the new equation, but note that the square function requires enclosure before squaring. Then calculate and close the warning. Numerous solutions are found, some presented exactly as fractions of pi. So scroll to highlight and press OK to see the decimal list. Finally, it may be useful to extract values from the SolveN solutions if further calculation is needed. Exit the list with back. Scroll to a new input line and press Catalog. Either scroll or use the shortcut to navigate to Statistics. Select List to input the list command. We need to refer to the list of answers from SolveN, so press alpha and format for ANS. To specify a particular item in this list, open a square bracket. As these are secondary labels to 4, press Shift first. To recall the value in the list, enter its position. In this case, position 2, and confirm. This recalls the value and it is now available to store as a variable or perform calculations with. We hope that you have found this video useful. If so, please do check out our other resources on the Casio Education UK website and YouTube.